Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the channel. I thought tonight I would give a little rundown on how I am going about installing the electronics, the junction or circuit breaker box, some of the wiring componentry, and positioning and options that you have with this particular tower off of Uncle Wayne's shop. So I'm just gonna talk about the wiring. You see here, we don't just have strands of wire going into the terminals there. That just would be a messy situation. So I just thought I'd go into detail about, this particular junction box, how I wired it, some of the tricks to it, and hopefully answer some of your questions. So what we're at tonight is installing these bad boys. And so these are the future eyes, and this bracket and this setup was recommended off of from the Uncle Wayne shop. And so these bad boys are gonna go right behind there, right about in that location. So we're gonna go through the wiring. Probably gonna have to cut this bottom Kove sticker or remove it. So while I was going back into the bike, I thought I would kind of show you guys a couple of things, answer a couple of the questions that I've had people ask me a couple times. For one, this USB, people warned me about these, that they're too sensitive with the voltage meter and USB charger for dirt biking. And to tell you the truth, every one of these I've ever put on a bike has failed. So I know that going into it. There is a secondary stock one that I know is most likely not going to fail. But I usually end up just putting a cigarette lighter adapter in there so I can run more options, as far as maybe like a pump, an old school pump if somebody might have one, or something to inflate an air mattress. Anyways, so I kind of took this from Takamoto, and I'm very thankful. But these bad boys are a lifesaver and really make things look a lot more sano when it comes to installing electronics on the bike. So these, in combination with these bad boys for actually connecting wires instead of soldering or the heat shrink and all that. These are super easy, super secure, lightweight, and there's a bunch of different options. If you have two things going into something, or a 3, 4, 5. I think 5 is the most that I have with these right now. So these guys are awesome in conjunction with these guys. So requires this nifty little crimping tool. And essentially what you got here is, when you're going to work and you're making a wiring harness or whatnot, what you do is you strip the wire, you size one of these guys, and then sticking it in this handy dandy crimper. It's hard to do with one hand. Essentially, you get the gist of it. Give it a couple, usually I'll do it twice on this, different locations. And then what you have there is you have this really nice wire end that works perfectly going into one of these and makes it super secure, or into a junction box like this. I've also had really good luck with, let's see if it'll focus here. I've also had really good luck with putting these into the heat shrink with the solder in the middle and making a really secure connection between the two wires that way. So just thought I'd show that little technique. And I gotta thank Takamoto for that, because those two things in combination have made wiring and connecting things a lot easier, because that's one of my least favorite things to do, is wiring stuff. I end up having to do a little bit at a time. And this guy is the, there's a bunch of these on Amazon, but it's the crimping tool. So just thought I'd show you that, and we'll get into it and show a little bit of behind the curtain, because essentially right now it's pretty sano. You know, we don't have a ton of wires, we don't have the rat's nest that I thought it was going to be. Just have to take your time and be methodical. So I'll break here and bring you back here in a second. But before I do, I just wanted to point out, people have been asking about the positioning of these. One, am I able to see over the top? Yes, it is very tall. I'm not just sitting on my bike riding around. I'm riding this pretty hard, and I typically have been riding KTM 302 strokes, 500 KTM EXCF, WR 450. So I'm a dirt bike guy, and I'm not just sitting on the seat cruising around on the tarmac and hitting the gravel roads. Like, as you can see, I've already been down on both sides on this bike, thus the new graphics. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that bad boy here in a second, but I just wanted to address, you know, people talking about the height of this, and, you know, well, just why wouldn't you install something down in this location? Everybody's putting these big tablets like Everride did, and those things are not made for dirt bikes. Those things are not made for off-roading in rugged conditions, dirt, dust, rain, and being slammed on the ground. So anybody who's putting one of those down there obviously is just going to be sitting on their butt and cruising around, hopefully. Otherwise, they're planning on it breaking, or they're living in a fantasy world. So everybody also has these more motorcycle specific GPSs, again, that they're mounting down in this region. And I don't like looking down when I'm riding. I like looking straight ahead of the trail. And the majority of the time, I am standing, looking well over this, and glancing down, I can see this very clearly. If I was standing and having to look down in this region to navigate at speed, that would be extremely dangerous, and I would have to slow down. So this allows me to ride faster. The Trail Tech is a purpose-built tool, and these things, man, I love these, and I've put one of these on every single one of my bikes, as you guys have seen. And from firsthand experience, these things can go through hell and back, and they'll keep on working. All the other motorcycle type GPS devices, if they jettison from the bike or you crash, they are gonna break, most likely. The Trail Tech, I've had this thing hit me in the chest. I've had this thing go flying off the bike because of the mount failed, and continues to work. The screen's not damaged. These things can take a beating. They have so many better features for off-road riding than a typical GPS, the Garmin's. Get a Trail Tech. You will not be disappointed. So that's my justification for having such a high tower. Personal preference, I would lop this off, but for now it's good. I can see right over the top of it if I kind of, you know, really poke my head. But based on the wiring and the mounting of this thing, this is all getting replaced with proper hardware tonight. This was all just a mock-up. But based on everything, this was the best positioning so that I could still get to this knob. All the wiring still had room behind there. If anything, I would have liked it to be lower, but and I may still end up doing that, but yeah, so stick around here for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and break into this and show you what the wiring looks like behind the curtain. So we got the shield off. Just trying to get everything figured out as far as real estate is concerned. It's getting extremely tight. So, whew. Got a panel up here now. This is probably gonna have to be condensed somehow. This is the main harness power, and then I'm only using one of these. So I got this one set up for these lights. These two are empty right now. This one is gonna be the these guys. I had initially planned on this not being here. I was planning on just using this to run them, but this already had this all integrated, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll with it, and down the road I'll figure out this whole situation, because this is a light adventure bike after all. So heated grips, heated seat, probably. So stay tuned, getting this all wired up. These bracket holes are slightly off, so before final installation, I'm gonna have to drill that out a little bit. So as far as wiring, this guy is going to that on-off switch. This box is for these lights, unfortunately. So got ground, got power, and then this one is the accessory one. So this will run off a keyed power. So the lights will only come on if the bike is powered up. So negative, positive, and then this sucker right here is ground back to the battery or ground off the bike. And I have one of these little blocks mounted to the inside of here to ground everything off of. So stay tuned, keep on going. So I got the lights out, got the little box right here, and just showing you the wiring, kind of what this little jukebox or junction box looks like. See, it has, see if it'll focus, there we go. It has these little guys, and you can see how those are essentially just clamped down. It's got the individual fuses with the little LEDs that shine through this. It is not waterproof. It's way up here high. It's never gonna be submerged unless I take a huge dunk. So it should be good. Yep, that's what the inside of the little junction box looks like. Alright, so got the lights in there. The box kind of just up in this area. This is kind of the only free space was up there because, man, look right here. This gap used to be completely empty. You couldn't even see anything through there. You know, the wires along right here. Now it's completely filled with all the wires. Basically, behind the lights, behind this plate. But it does look pretty sano. You see, I got the those lights on this sucker down here, the 4th channel. And yeah, so just wrapping it up. Be done here in a second. Try to do as good a job of angling the lights as I could because I'm not really going to be able to get to those to adjust the angle very well. So my only other concerns are that wires are would rub. So everything needs to be secured so that it's not moving and rubbing. So yeah, we'll show you a little updated look when I'm done here. Man, I might just roll it out tonight and see how it looks. I also lowered the trail tech a little bit. Did that so that I had room to put the tire pressure monitor flush, and so that's what we got going on right now. Alright, there's the final product. I had to remove the bottom graphics sticker, so I did a little bit of scratching on my shield, but besides that, man, it's looking pretty fresh, pretty clean. How many lights do you need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But nice and sano. Check it all out. Let me know what you think. Tell me how ridiculous it is. So key power allows this to come on. Those lights I just installed. Mix yellow and both yellow, both high and low fill. Just yellow. Yeah, so this is all just that. Then we have the other light. It's got some red eyes, low beam yellow, fog, dust, high beam, flashing. Don't know what you'd ever use that for. And then we have the stock headlight. So let's take it outside and see what we got. All right, quick little test stock